And the same, based on this bunch of flowers, beautiful bunch of flowers, we, if we are able, if we are, if we, with the full understanding, it will, we will be free from the pain or dissatisfactoriness. So these three natures, or these three features are very, very important to understand when we are, understand relation to our lives. This life that we have, there is a, joy, happiness, fulfillment, no doubt. Same time, this life, has a, what's called pain, difficulties, dissatisfactions, and so forth. And at the same time, based on this life, we can be free from pain, difficulties, the unsatisfactory nature. So that is here, the going for refuge, will cultivate if we have this understanding of these three features, relation to our lives. And it is if we look at, if we contemplate, analyze, closely, thoroughly, detailedly, we will see that. There are lots of joys, happiness, fulfillment. Also, there are pain, difficulties, unsatisfactoriness, and so forth. Also, if we, if we pay close attention and give the right, get the right understanding, we will be free from those pain, difficulties, dissatisfactory, unsatisfactory natures, and so forth. So now these three features, which the first point I want to make you to think, you to contemplate. The coming days, weeks, months. This scholar, this great teacher, based on Buddha's teachings, he said, these three features are, here, with this life. And what really these three features are, how these three features are, operating, happening, abiding or residing here. And try to understand that. For example, when we are sipping cup of tea, definitely there is a enjoyment. And with that enjoyment, what's going to happen? If we have attachment to that taste, the taste of the cup of tea, what we'll have? We'll have a pain, because the cup of tea that we are sipping, we are drinking, is subject to change. It is impermanent. Therefore it is subject to change. That subject of change, if we are not aware of that, that will bring pain. That will bring difficulties. That will bring, the unsatisfactory nature. Because it is not, it is not fault. It is not the fault of the cup of tea. It is the nature of the cup of tea, the being impermanent. So being impermanent means subject to change. It will change. The cup of tea that we are drinking will get cooler, cool down, and no more is delicious, and so forth. And it is the same, almost every single thing and event that we interact, including our own lives. There's this kind of process of changing, because the nature of impermanence. Being impermanent, that's subject to change. And when we are lack of that understanding, what's going to happen, that will bring dissatisfaction, and that will bring pain, that will bring difficulties, that will bring fear, that will bring concern, and so forth. So the lives that we have right here and now, this life can bring pain, joy, happiness. Also, this life can bring pain and difficulties. Stop. 5 minutes. Okay. So therefore, to understanding the nature of this life will be very, very helpful going for refuge. As I said earlier, here the point is not the going for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Point is not saying I want to be the life to be a permanent. That's not the point. The point here is to have the understanding the nature of life. It is impermanent. It has this, the nature of pain and difficulties. When we have these understandings, and these understandings are the part of going for refuge, understanding of impermanence, the impermanence of this life, impermanence of the possessions, impermanence of our collections, impermanence of our status, and so on and so forth. That understanding of that kind of nature is very much part of the going for refuge, which I will talk later. Now, the point of what I'm making here is the first out of two courses going for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The first course is the understanding of the nature of life. Nature of life. As you know, again, this the great teacher, he pointed like this. First of all, Buddhism is neither pessimistic nor optimistic. If anything at all, it is realistic, for it takes a realistic view of life and of the world. It looks at things objectively. It does not falsely lure you into living in a fool's paradise. So that is here is really again important. Quite often when we talk about within our lives there is a problem, or there is a pain, or there are pains, there are difficulties. When you talk about that, people think that is very pessimistic view. That is very pessimistic the things to say. But it is important here, particularly to this subject, going for refuge, it is important to have that understanding. There's no doubt there are pains, there are difficulties. And that understanding, the pain and existence of pain and difficulty is part of going for refuge. Okay, is that all right? Okay. Okay, so then now we'll have, it is lunch break, is it? Yeah, awesome. We'll have lunch break. Then after lunch, and then I will talk a little bit further on the going for refuge. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you.